introduced after I read this, right? Let's now go with and just pick this up. It says, "This is the art of the fathers, the apostles. Let none keep in his heart malice or revenge or envy or hatred towards his neighbor or towards anybody." I'm going to read it again. "This is the art of the fathers, the apostles. Let none keep in his heart malice or revenge or envy or hatred towards his neighbor or towards anybody." It says, so if we accept the Bible as Gregory said earlier, and it becomes our comfort, because enough time people chastise us wrongfully and we use the Bible as a shield, so that's where it becomes our comfort. If we didn't trust in those things we say people will do and what we should do, then we would not comfort, we would have retaliate right away, or we would have stress out over. So it's something that damages us as a people. It's something that damages us as a people. Love got hurt, which is the creator. And from that time, the heart of man moved away. So upon earth, if we really dealing with His Majesty, we gotta look in ourselves and check what we really dealing with, you know. So I would just recommend that as a menu. You see, when we riding through the rough, don't complicate your mind. Exciting. Them things there's teaspoon we could hold as a recipe and get through your day. You see? And the cleaner and the pure you live, God gonna even show you when you brother negative. If you know you can go and uplift him from that, don't go in trouble. Allow it. Exactly. See? Exactly. The second thing I would ask Gregory to read it, going back to what Napikashi said earlier. And this article is back to Africa movement. And it expressed many of the lackadaisic what we would have among us, you know. And I would just, it's a little long, but as much as Gregory can reach and every man take a time for read, it will touch upon some serious things which I would like us to really think about, really. And I'll give it to Gregory due to him have a very stalwart voice, you know.
No, sir. Everybody else.
Make the animal in the jungle run away.
How big is it? It can turn cross here, right? To read that way, I expose bit. Okay, right. It says here, back to Ethiopia. African American and West Indian returnees in Ethiopia, 1896 to 2010. Located far from the Atlantic shores where the international slavery system operated, Ethiopia does not feature as one of the actors in the sad saga. Nevertheless, this East African country has acquired symbolic, religious, and racial value, and has featured prominently in the collective thoughts and social practice of black people in the United States and the Caribbean. After their troops defeat the Italian army at Ottawa in 1896, Ethiopia surged onto the world stage as a black nation, successfully defending its sovereignty from the conquering European imperialists. Since that time, there has been a tenuous but nonetheless constant influx of African American and West Indian into that country. By going to Ethiopia, these migrants not only sealed the convergence of two major Pan-African ideologies, Ethiopianism and Back to Africa, but they link symbolically discourse to social practice. The migrants settled in the capital city, Addis Ababa, in a few secondary town, and on land granted in the 1950s on the periphery of Shashamane, meaning outskirt, a southern market town. Up to the 1960s, a wide spectrum of African American and West Indian professional, technician, journalists, militant settlers were almost exclusive Rastafarian. What? At first, they were mainly African American and West Indian, but since 1990, Rastafarian came from all over the Caribbean, US, Europe, and Africa, and from varied ethnic background. The Back to Ethiopia movement demonstrates various patterns of mobility. It was not a return for everyone. Each settlers and visitors had a particular relationship with the idea of Ethiopia and with the country itself. African Americans and West Indians were driven to Ethiopia by job opportunity, a cause to defend the possibilities of land tenure or quest for redemption. There was a voluntary return which did not benefit. Next page. Which did not benefit from government funding and for which Western powers assume no responsibility. Rather, it was self or family centered, drawing sporadically on collective involvement and support. Once in Ethiopia, black settlers and visitors met with a centralized, powerful, and sometimes authoritarian state. Pan-African policies of Ethiopia developed during the reign of Menelik and Haile Selassie come to an end with the 1974 revolution and subsequent change of regime. Despite restrictive policies since then, the arrival of Rastafarian in particular resumed in the 19th